So continuing with the idea, we will just substitute the value of f from equation 1 in the expression and we will determine the work done. Left hand side would simply be w, right hand side would become 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 upon x raised to the power minus 2 dx infinity to r and a minus sign outside. I have taken all the terms which are constant outside the sign of integral and I have this liberty by the process of integration that the constants can be placed anywhere inside or outside the sign of integral. Okay, so if I solve it further, it would be q1 q2 upon 4 pi epsilon naught and the integral part would resolve to minus 1 upon minus 1 infinity to r. And this is required. There is a basic rule in integration that you all know right from class 11. We have used it very many times. So just to make you recall it, I am writing it. Plus c is there when we are not integrating with limits. If we are integrating it with limits, say a and b, then this c is not used and we simply put the limits and then we further solve it by replacing x by b on the right hand side minus replacing x by a on the right hand side, and that is how we solve it. So I have to solve the limits further. So it would become minus q1 q2 and that minus 1 is also taken out, minus 4 pi epsilon naught, and these two terms cancel out again. So I am left with 1 upon x infinity to r. This minus is taken out, so this minus and this minus cancels out. X to the power minus 1 can be written as 1 upon x and infinity to r. So this becomes 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 1 upon r minus 1 upon infinity, and 1 upon infinity tends to 0. So the overall work done in the process is q1 q2 upon r, and that is our overall work done in the process. So this is how we can determine the work done in moving the charge q2 from infinity towards point P. And this work is stored in the system, and this stored energy in the system is called as electrostatic potential energy of the system. So if I ask you to define this term electrostatic potential energy, then you can simply say it is the amount of work required to move a charge from infinity towards another charge without any acceleration. This term is important, without any acceleration. Another definition, it can also be defined as the energy required to make a system of charges by bringing them from infinity to a position in which they can interact with each other. So initially both the charges were infinitely separated, right now they are at a separation r, and to make this system come in this configuration, we need to spend this much energy, and that energy is called as potential energy. You can relate it with a very simple example of your daily life, though non-scientific in nature. Suppose you go to a market and you purchase a gold coin, and that gold coin has a worth of say 20,000 rupees. So you have spent 20,000 rupees from your pocket and your currency has been converted into another form, but you are holding that energy with you. So anyone, if ask you, you can say that I have 20,000 rupees in my pocket, though you have a gold coin. And if you ask other man to take that gold coin and give you 20,000 rupees, he may or may not be interested to do so depending on his or her requirement. The same is the case over here. You have this energy in the system. In a situation, this energy can do something for you. In a situation, it may not do something for you. That depends on situation to situation. But that energy is lying with the system. You might have studied the law of conservation of energy, which says that energy can neither be created nor it can be lost. It can only be converted from one form to another form. So if you have spent some energy to bring the charge from infinity to point B, you have spent some energy. Where that has energy gone? It hasn't gone anywhere. It has stored into the system in the form of potential energy. So you can conclude your result by saying that the overall potential energy of the system is U equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R. And this is the potential energy of a system of 2-point charges at a distance. Now, if I wish to extend this idea further, then, so suppose we have a system of 3 charges. Just imagine this situation. Say this is Q1, this is Q2, this is Q3. And the distance between these two is R12, between these is R23, and between these is R13. Then what will you do? Again you can write your potential energy like 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R12 plus, before writing this, let me give you a little hint. The overall energy would be U1 plus U2 plus U3. What is U1? U1 is the energy of this pair, Q1 Q2. What is U2? U2 is the energy of, say, this pair, according to this result. And U1 U3 is again the potential energy because of this pair. So you have 3 pairs possible, because when you bring only charge Q2 close to Q1, no Q3 was there, then only Q1 was repelling or attracting it. And when you bring Q3, both are repelling. So when all the charges are interacting, the contribution of everyone is to be taken into account. But for mathematical purposes, when we solve it, we find that the potential energy is equal to the overall sum of potential energy of every pair in the system. So suppose we have a system of n charges, then we have to determine how many pairs are possible over there. How many pairs are possible? If you have n charges in your system, n into n minus 1 by 2. You can keep this tip in your mind. For a pair of, for a system of n charges, number of pairs, say, let me call it as x, will be equal to n into n minus 1 by 2. These many number of pairs you will be having. So if I have 3 charges, so 3 into 3 minus 1 upon 2. That means 3. So if we have 3 charges, we will have 3 pairs. If we have 4 charges, 4 into 4 minus 1. That means we will have 6 pairs. If we have 10 charges, 10 into 10 minus 1, 9 upon 2, we will have 45 pairs. So we can determine the number of pairs for a system of n charges, and the terms on the right hand side would be equal to the number of pairs. Right now in the situation we have how many pairs? Only 3. So we just need to write these 3 terms to determine the potential energy. They would be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R12. R12 means separation between Q1 and Q2. Similarly, the same term would be written for the term U2, in which this term would be common. So let me put it outside the bracket in a single shot, and let me write this as Q2 Q3 upon R23, and then Q1 Q3 upon R13. So this is the potential energy for a system of 3 charges. With potential energy, electrostatic potential energy. And suppose you have 4 charges. Now you can see that it is quite convenient for us to do it that way because energy is a scalar quantity and we can simply add it like numbers. Add the real vectors, we have to apply the vector algebra to add these terms. So that is why we say that if it is possible for us to apply the concept of energy in a problem, then we should prefer doing it because that makes our task mathematically easier. Okay, so moving ahead, let me write that if we have 4 charges, just like in the case of a square, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Now how many pairs are possible? According to this formula, you will put n equals to 4. 4 into 4 minus 1, that is 3. 4 into 3 is 12. 12 upon 2 is 6. So you will have 6 pairs. Now where are those 6 pairs over here? Simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Can you think of any other pair? No. So even if you don't realize that where are those pairs, this result gives you the help to locate that where are those 6 pairs. So suppose you count it to 5, it means you are missing 1 pair. Do remember to place that particular 6th pair in your calculation if you want to make your things right in mathematical terms. So overall potential energy of the system in this case would be 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R12, Q2 Q3 upon R23, Q3 Q4 upon Q1 Q3 upon R13 and so on so forth. You can write 6 terms. So let me write it like sigma Qi Qj over Rij, where I equals to 1 to 4, J equals to 1 to 4 and I is not equal to J. So this is a simple way of writing it. You cannot have Q1 upon R11. That doesn't make a sense because the charge will not exert any force on itself. So if you write over here Q1, it should be something else, maybe Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5, Q6, Q7, whatever is the possibility allowed to you by the system. Similarly, R12, R13, R14, R15, all such possibilities. So if we have a system of 3 charges, there would be 3 terms. If we have a system of 4 charges, we will have 6 terms. If we have a system of 5 charges, 5 into 6, we will have 15 terms. Okay. So this is just to let you realize that how to write the expression for potential energy for any number of charges. But for the further discussion, I would contain myself again back to a system of only 2 charges because basic origin from the other.